started. So what I'm going to do in my final project, I want to use a combination of tuku-tuku, kowhaiwhai, and some sort of creative, I wouldn't call it moku, it'd be more akin to kowhaiwhai. But now for me, Mount Taranaki is important in Taranaki, so I'm going to use that in my design. I'm going to use the Patiki Tiki Tuku Tuku pattern because that signifies family and well-being, and I'm also going to use the Tanafa pattern from the Tuku Tuku, and I am going to try and create the Stairway to Heaven piece in here as well. But I'm going to just start this video by showing you how I created, and I've cheated a little bit because I've actually done some of it. So I got my GeoGebra up. I went to options, labeling, no objects. I also went over to here, and I made sure that I had snapped to a grid on as well. Now in my assessment docket, I will create using GeoGebra the initial outlines of Mount Taranaki using kowhaiwhai and I've got to make sure that my spelling is correct here. So and this is going to be created. I will create this in the left-hand quadrant of the grid. And the reason I'm going to create this in the left-hand quadrant of the grid is because I will then reflect this about the line x equals 0, and that will be the first element of my transformation. So this will be the first, but I'll come back to that in a minute. So here's my grid. So I'm now going to create the first piece, and I'm going to use the circular arc or the circumcircular arc feature. And what I did first was create the top of Mount Taranaki there, and I'm now going to put that in. So this is the top piece of Mount Taranaki. I then, and I used that by just using this circular arc piece. I'm now going to put in the second piece of Mount Taranaki. So here's the cone. This is the first slope coming down from the top. And again, I just clicked here, here, and here and put that in. I'm now going to put in the next piece. So now I'm starting to put in some kowhaiwhai and other patterning on the top piece of Mount Taranaki, all using the the one tool, this tool here, this circumcircular arc. I'm now going to put in the next piece, and as you can see, I've already done this, but to speed up the process, I'm just going to, and I use the same tool the whole way down. So I'm just going to highlight all of these. And as you can see, I'm now starting to get some patterning going on. And so now some kowhaiwhai design coming in. And again, I want to emphasize I just use this tool the whole way through. But you can use whatever you like, and you can design whatever pattern you want. So here's the next piece of Mount Taranaki, and now I need to go back and put in the rest of the patterning. So this will be here. And again, I have to emphasize that I use all the same tool. So we're getting there with the first outline. So you can see my kuru and other bits and pieces coming in. And you can see how they're all in the first quadrant. So there, I think, is all of my patterning for the first part. Now what I did is put in the line x equals 0, which was going to act as my mirror line, and I reflected this whole piece across the mirror line. And I will now go and put in all of that so that each of these pieces. So this is the first element of my project. So I'm going to go back to my Google Doc, and I'm going to say, once the first pattern was designed, I placed the mirror line in at x equals 0, and I reflected the outline across the mirror line to give the Taranaki design. So that's my first, and I'll just put it, that's my first piece there. Okay, so that's my first design element. So I've got at least one reflection in this pattern, and I'm just going to put that reflection in now because there's nothing else on this. I just have to go and put all those bits and pieces, and you can see the reflection. So here is now the full reflection, initial pattern and reflection, and then I'll take the mirror line up. So I'm going to take that out now. So there's my Mount Taranaki pattern. Now I'm going to put in another piece coming down through here, in which I'm going to try and create a taniwha at one point. And I'm going to use the circumcircular tool, but this can also represent rivers, the sea, etc. So I'm just going to go there, all the way down to there. Then I'm going to do the same going across here and here. So I'm going to put in a design in this piece, I'm going to reflect it across there also. I'm going to undo those dots now, and this will represent perhaps the Waikato River and Mount Taranaki. For me, I'm going to put in some patiki-tiki patterns up here and here, and I'm going to put some taniwha patterns down here, and I'll probably incorporate the Stairway to Heaven design. These are tuku-tuku patterns which I can easily rotate, etc. The patiki-tiki represent the stars, as well as family well-being, good food, good fortune. Don't forget, save often. Go save all the time. So I'm going to stop this first part of the video, and when I get the next part of this design in, I'll come back with it.